Ladies and gentlemen, today I want to share a story with you. Paint this picture in your mind. There is an elevator in a hospital. And in this elevator, there is a little boy, about 5 years old, lying on a bed. The little boy is accompanied by a nurse. The elevator is going down, and the little boy is crying. He's afraid. The nurse tries to calm down the little boy. She says, "Oh, don't be afraid, sweetie. Everything's going to be fine. Everything's going to be all right." Shall I tell you a story about Mickey Mouse? But the little boy doesn't stop crying. "I don't want to hear a story about Mickey Mouse," he says. "I want to go back. I want to see my mom." "Don't be afraid, sweetie," the nurse says. And then, finally, the medication which the little boy had received from the doctor just a few minutes before kicks in, and the boy finally calms down a little bit. And just as he is about to arrive in the surgery room, he reaches a trance-like state, and he can't remember anything that happens in there next. But the next thing he knows is himself waking up in his bed again, with his mom by his side, holding his little hand. My friends, the little boy in the story is me. Can you imagine that? 5-year-old little me? The funny thing is that I actually don't remember many details of my early childhood, but this event sticks to my mind like it happened yesterday. I can even recall the voice of the nurse in my head who tried to calm me down so lovingly. Now, to calm you down, the surgery that I underwent was a simple one. And it had the aim to cure my loud snoring. The procedure to do this is actually easy, and risk for complications is low. And also in my case, everything went well. But, you see, I was 5 years old. I mean, I was a little boy in this big hospital. I mean, it was a hospital. And, you know, these places can be really scary sometimes, and events like this stay in your mind. Emotions like doubt, fear, and uncertainty stay in your mind. After this event, I always had a strange feeling when I had to go to see a doctor or into a hospital. I could literally feel the fear coming up every time when I entered the building. So I guess when I was 5 years old, my associations to medicine were clearly negative. Flashing forward now, 20 years later, I am a medical student and I'm about to finish my studies this autumn. And I can honestly say that my associations to medicine now are good ones. I overcame my fear of hospitals and doctors. But how? What happened? Well, between my 5th and my 25th birthday, I had to go into hospitals and to see doctors many more times. Partly it was due to me being sick quite a lot when I was a child, but on the other hand, it was because I visited people there. Concerning health and diseases, my family went through lots of hardships. And although I was little, I tried to support them however and whenever I could. And this involved being in a hospital for quite a bit. And as time passed by, something happened. I learned that in this hospital, this institution which I was so afraid of as a little boy, I learned that also good things can happen there. I mean, people are being cured in the hospitals. Lives are being saved there. And this switch from the negative to the positive side, so I guess, was one of the reasons why I started studying medicine. It's a funny thing, but looking back now, this event in the elevator 20 years ago, it seemed like a chance happening to me. A chance not coming often in life. I was a little boy, and my path already seemed to be defined. And now I'm about to turn my occupation into a vocation. Then, in my first year of medical school, a good friend of mine called me. Dominik, he said, I'm taking part in this project called the Teddy Bear Hospital. Do you want to join me? Actually, I had no idea what the project was about, and honestly, I had never heard of it before. But it sounded like fun and like it would create value, and I wanted to be part of that. So one day, before the event took place, we were introduced to the idea of the project. And now, I want to introduce you. I want to introduce you to one of my favorite cuddle toys. Okay, it was one of my favorite cuddle toys when I was a child. You stay here. Perfect. And now, I want to ask you a question. Do you remember when you were a child? Maybe you too had that special little animal, that little friend, a partner in crime, someone you could talk to and cry to day and night, someone you could tell your dreams, your wishes, your hopes, your memories. For some of you, maybe it was a doll, but I guess for most of us, it was just that classical teddy bear. And whatever it was in your case, I'm sure that it played an important role in your childhood. And it plays an important role in the Teddy Bear Hospital. The Teddy Bear Hospital, ladies and gentlemen, is a global project, a global movement, so to say, like the Teddybears actually. And its aim is to help little children overcome their fear of hospitals, doctors, nurses, needles, and everything else that can be associated negatively to medicine. How do they do that? Well, in the Teddy Bear Hospital, everything is like in a real hospital. So you know, there is a registration, there is a waiting room, there is an emergency room, a radiology, a surgery room, and many more other stations. But there is one major difference to a real hospital. In the Teddy Bear Hospital, the children who go there, they are not the patients. Their cuddle toys are the patients, and the children are the parents of the cuddle toys. So one day, before the event takes place, children think about or make up a disease or an injury for their favorite cuddle toy, and then they bring it to the Teddy Bear Hospital. There is a so-called Teddy Bear doctor waiting for them. Teddy Bear doctors are volunteers in first-line medical students, and then together as a team, the Teddy Bear doctor, the child, and the cuddle toy. They go through the single stations of the Teddy Bear Hospital with one goal: to cure the sick cuddle toy. And the children, they can help with all the procedures by doing this. So they get to know the diagnosing procedures, therapies, and all the other stuff that is going on in a hospital. And by going through this process, the organizers hope that the children, one day, when they are patients themselves, hopefully, they are not so afraid anymore. I was blown away after I took part in this project for the first time. I mean, the children's fantasy was endless. I remember these little kids coming to me and they told me that their teddy bear had a broken heart. Or butterflies in the stomach. But the children also came up with more serious diseases, even such like cancer. However, I was stunned. But I was even more stunned about 1 year later, when I had this internship, this time in a real hospital, and there was a little boy, actually, again, 5 years old, like me, when I was in the elevator 20 years ago, and the doctor came in, and he explained to the boy what was about to happen. he was about to draw blood from the boy. And now, you maybe would expect the little boy would behave like me when I was a child, unafraid and in doubt and everything. But to my surprise, the little boy just looked at the doctor and he said, "Oh, that's fine. I know this procedure from the teddy bear hospital. My teddy bear also had to do it, and after all, it wasn't that bad." At that moment, I thought, wow, this thing really works. And since that day, I had a dream. I wanted to bring this project to my home county, Vorarlberg. Because now I knew that the teddy bear hospital wasn't just cute and fun and everything. It really seemed to create value. And I wanted that value from my home county. But the problem was, I didn't know how to do it. Because you have to know, until that day, teddy bear hospitals had been taking place in Austria for more than 20 years. They were organized by an association of medical students, but only in cities with a medical university, big cities like Vienna, Salzburg, and Innsbruck. And as you can imagine, it's easier to recruit volunteers for such a project when there is a city with a medical university, and we don't have a medical university in Vorarlberg, so this was obviously a problem. I thought about how I could overcome this challenge, day and night. But I just couldn't find a solution. I talked to lots of people and asked them for help, but in the end, they were all convinced that such a big project would never take place here in this small county, Vorarlberg. So nothing happened, and I put the idea to side. But I took part in the Teddy Bear Hospital project again next year, and the year after that year. And every year, this wish to turn this dream into reality came up again. I guess you could say the passion was always there. The fire was always burning. And then one day, I finally found a solution. I found the solution when two of my friends started nursing school. It came to me like in a blink of an eye. I thought, well, in a real hospital, doctors and nurses are working together as one team. And this works, so why shouldn't it work for a teddy bear hospital too? I could just ask nursing students to take part in this project and as a result, recruit more teddy bear doctors. This was the key. The key to the first teddy bear hospital in a non-medical university city in Austria. I sat down the same evening and I wrote an email to the biggest hospital of our county, the Academic Teaching Hospital of Felke, which some of you in the audience maybe know. And eventually, they liked the idea of the project and they invited me to come over and give a presentation about the whole thing. And I remember this day when I drove up there and I was so fired up, yeah? I was so convinced by this project, I knew that it would work. But on the other hand, I was so afraid, because by that day I had nothing. I had no money, I had no volunteers, I had no experience in organizing such projects. But eventually the hospital and the local nursing school, they decided to give me a chance to turn this dream into reality. We set a date, and now there was really lots of work to do. And I knew that I could never do it all by myself. And as Stefan told us before, it's important sometimes to swallow your pride and ask for help. And that's what I did too. I searched for a team. I searched for a team and I found it through the Association of Medical Students here in Austria. And as you can see on this picture, we really had lots of fun, and today we are good friends. And after 1 year of hard day's work, we finally did it. We organized the first teddy bear hospital in a small city called Felke with not more than 33,000 inhabitants. And today, I'm standing here because of a team. A team of more than 130 teddy bear doctors. And our team is truly special because it's made up of medical students, nursing students, pharmacy students, and as far as we know, we are the first teddy bear hospital project who had this team where these 3 specialties were involved. All in all, we guided more than 700 kids and their sick cuddle toys through our teddy bear hospital, and I'm happy to say that our project will be repeated this September. And now, as I'm coming to an end, I want to be honest with you. I practiced my talk at home and I thought, okay, I'm telling you all these numbers and the process and how we overcame our obstacles and everything, but it just felt like I was bragging a bit, yeah? But you see, all that I want to tell you is that we have to be aware of opportunities in our lives. Which situations could you use to improve your life? And even more important, which situations could you use to improve the life of others? And then, if you find it, do we have the courage to take a step forward and get the ball running? Because if we do this, really beautiful things can happen. In our case, we were able to create the Teddy Bear Hospital project and to help the children overcome the fear of hospitals and doctors. And as a result, we broke through the negative barriers to our dream. What is your dream? What do you want to achieve, but you're afraid that you will fail? Or you're afraid what your neighbors will say about you, or even your parents or your friends? Ladies and gentlemen, it doesn't matter what other people say about your dreams and goals. In our case, there were also so many people who doubted us. Until the end, they had concerns about insurance, safety conditions. How would the children come from the kindergarten to the hospital and back safely? We remembered all these arguments, but we also remembered our vision: to help little children overcome the fear of hospitals and doctors. Ladies and gentlemen, do the things you want to do. It doesn't matter what other people say about your dreams and goals. If you can dream it, you can do it. Thank you very much.